Okay, so this past weekend, I watched that new Netflix show starring John David Washington. It's called Beckett. It's similar to a sort of like a The Fugitive type of on the run type of wrongly accused type situation type movie. And I enjoyed it. I can, for some reason, I kind of feel like this movie probably is going to have mixed reviews, but me personally, I enjoyed the movie. By the way, my name is DL Jones. This is the DL Jones Show, and welcome back for another episode. And like I said, I was watching Beckett. So basically, let me get into it. Let me tell you what this particular movie is about. Okay, so basically the plot of this movie is John David Washington and his girlfriend, they're kind of vacationing in some other country. I'm not sure which country it is. I think Germany or something. I'm not sure where they are. I'm not even going to try to pretend. I need to look up to see what they were. I wasn't even paying attention to it. The only thing I knew is that they were in sort of like a European country, and there was a lot of foreign language people, which played a big part in this movie. But anyway, they're vacationing, and it starts off with him and his girlfriend having a drink, at a restaurant, and they have to leave. They have to leave their hotel because of something. They got some kind of reason. There's like some kind of protest or something in the hotel. People tell them about it and tell them that, you might want to leave because it's going to get noisy. So they decide to go somewhere else, right? So they're driving to another place. And on the way there, it was a long drive. On the way there, which is kind of crazy, there was an accident, which this particular movie, I'm going to do it kind of as spoiler free as I can. I'm not going to talk too much details. I'm just going to give you the gist of the movie itself. But they get in an accident, and when John David Washington wakes up, later on or the next day or whatever in the hospital, he comes to find out that his girlfriend died, and when this happened, I kind of thought that this movie, and that part was in the previews. When I saw the previews for this movie a couple of weeks ago, that part was in the previews, and I kind of thought this movie was going to be exactly like The Fugitive, where he was on the run because they thought he killed his wife, but it turned out not to be like that. I mean, she did die. Yeah. In the trailer, she had died, and she did die, but that wasn't what the movie was about. But basically what happens is that he gets in the middle of something, and he has a bunch of people trying to kill him. I don't know. It's just a bunch of people. He don't know why. All he knows is that when he goes back and try to figure out what happened in the accident and all of that kind of stuff, people show up and they start shooting at him. So the whole rest of the movie, he's on the run for the most part. He's trying to get to the U.S. Embassy because people are just kind of trying to kill him and trying to shoot him. And he don't know who he can trust and everything like that. And for the most part, it was pretty good. So for one thing, you would think a movie like this would be an action-packed movie, but it's not really action-packed. It's more like thriller. It's more like thriller and suspense. Not thriller as in you're going to be scared, but thriller as in you wondering if he's going to get away, if this is the time he's going to get caught or what's going to happen. You're just wondering what's going to happen. It's like kind of on the edge, or you put you on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's going on along with him, which leads into the part what I hinted about the other country. One thing about this movie that I thought was pretty interesting. At first, I thought something was wrong with my TV, but then I realized, I think they did this on purpose. But like I said, they was vacationing in another country, and John David Washington's character, he didn't speak that language. I don't know if it was Germany or whatever. I'm guessing it was Germany or France or whatever. I'm thinking it's Germany. But he didn't speak the language. So every time he was trying to maneuver his way through different things, trying to escape here, trying to find out where this is and trying to do stuff, people were speaking in other languages and he couldn't understand them. He had to try to make do, try to, use other, sign languages and motions, or try to find somebody who do speak English to help him. But the part that was interesting about that is that when the other people were talking and they were speaking in another language, they didn't have subtitles. So you didn't even know what was going on, which I kind of felt like added to the movie. At first I thought it was a mistake. I was like, why would they have people speaking languages? Because there was a situation where John David Washington's character was in a room and two people were sitting right across from him having a conversation with each other in another language, and it's based on something that he's trying to find out, information he's trying to find out. And those two characters are talking to each other in another language, and there's no subtitles. So not only does John David Washington don't know what in the world they're saying, you as the viewer don't know what they're saying, which I thought was interesting. It kind of gave you, it seemed like they tried to put you in a place where you was kind of feeling the same thing that he was feeling in that moment. You know, he's a guy in another country, you know, around people that don't speak his language. I mean, of course you find people that do, but you know, a lot of the times he's around people that don't speak his language. So he's trying to navigate through things. He's trying to figure out what to do next, where to go, find out information. And he's dealing with being surrounded by people that don't speak the language. And no telling what they were saying. You know, I didn't look it up or anything, but no telling what those people were saying. They could have been plotting against him right in his face, knowing that he couldn't understand them, you know. But I thought that was a pretty interesting choice, you know, and it kind of puts you in the mindset that you can imagine that he was in that situation. Another thing about this movie that I thought was pretty interesting was that, you know, a lot of times in these movies like this where you have the main character, the protagonist, and he's the person or she's the person that's trying to escape everybody or trying to get to a destination and all of this kind of stuff. And usually that character usually fall under a couple of different types of archetypes. Like that character is usually something like, you know, of course you have like in a movie like, you know, the Taken movies or the John Wick movies, you have this guy that kind of seemed like an everyday man, like the everyman, you know, and then you find out when he gets in trouble, you find out that he got skills. He can fight. He's an ex-Marine. He's a soldier. You know, he's good at this stuff. You know, he's a fighter, you know, that type of person. Or sometimes you have the person where he's an everyday man, but instead of his skills being fighting or using weapons and stuff like that, his skills, he may have a particular set of skills that work with the environment that he's in. Like maybe he's really good at computers and what he need to figure out has something to do with being able to hack computers and stuff like that. You know, just general skills like that. Or he could be well connected. Maybe he don't have the skills, but he has friends in certain spots that he can call on that can give him that helping hand he need. This was a completely different situation. John David Washington's character played like the everyman, like the everyday man, but he didn't have any of those skills. He wasn't like a fighter. He wasn't like a computer person. He wasn't super smart. He was just running around here trying to survive using regular old brains and smarts that any other normal regular person would have tried to use to try to get through this situation. It was like he didn't have no advantages. He was completely alone in a country where he didn't speak the language of most of the people there and didn't have any resources. He just was making it, just getting by, just flying by the seat of his pants, trying to get to where he wants to go. And you could tell because every single encounter he got in where he had to do some kind of fighting or something, he got beat up. He got shot. He got cut up. And, you know, he was not like handling things. He was just barely making it out of situations. You know, he was just a regular dude trying to get to where he was trying to get to and just barely making it, you know. And I thought that was pretty interesting. It's a different take than what you normally see in these types of movies. You know, you have like a regular guy. They'll play it like he don't have any skills. Then all of a sudden, every single fight he get in, he's beating people down. You know, it wasn't like that with this. He was just a regular dude trying to make it to where he was going to go, you know. And even the situation at the beginning, without spoiling, was something that some kind of regular dude would do. How this whole thing happened, you know, it's stuff that just an ordinary person, I mean, it's bad luck. And I wish they wouldn't have went that route with how the car accident started and stuff at the beginning, but it was nothing special to it. It's just something that happens to people sometimes, you know, if you're not careful. But I thought a lot of that stuff was interesting, and that, you know, looking at that, looking at him as being just a regular Joe trying to go through this situation that he was in, and the suspense. Is he going to make it? Is he going to get away? You know, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? And you know, they got into factor where it's like a lot of people that he was going to or he was around, his surroundings and stuff, he couldn't trust. So then you had that where you was looking at, can he trust this person? I bet this person is bad too. You know, it was just a lot of stuff there that had you thinking, had you try to figure out what's going on, had you sitting there just watching, trying to see what's next, you know. And like I said, it wasn't like it was action packed. It was kind of slow, you know, it was a kind of slow movie, but it was enough stuff going on to stimulate your thoughts, you know, trying to figure out what's going to go on. That just made it very interesting. But yeah, that's that movie. Beckett, starring John David Washington, is on Netflix. Just came out this past weekend. And I'd say give it a watch. It's pretty good. If you like kind of suspense type movies, you know, think of The Fugitive, sort of similar to The Fugitive or movie similar to that. This is another one of those type of movies, and I just thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, check that out. And if you like this video, make sure you click like and subscribe to the channel, you know, so you can see more videos when I put them out, and hit the bell so you get notified. But anyway, that's all I got to say for today about Beckett. I enjoyed it. You should check it out. It's on Netflix. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.